Hi, the purpose of this video is to demonstrate how to use Turnitin for this semester for BTHM subjects at AA Poly. So first thing to do is to go to turnitin.com and to supply your email address and password. If you haven't used Turnitin standalone like this, you may need to create a user profile or by using your AA Poly email address you may need to reset your password. So I'm assuming that you will have done that, and now we log in and you can see here that there are two versions of this subject. One is from the first semester, so I'm going to show you that one and just demonstrate how the marking and the interpretation of the Turnitin scores works. So you can see now that there are two assignments in this subject, and then for each of these assignments a draft version and a final version of the Dropbox have been created. The reasoning for this is that the draft is where students will submit their work for the purpose of them getting feedback on their similarity score. When they're happy with their work, they will submit it as their final assignment. So to view the assignments, the list of assignments, we just click on view and that brings up all of the assignments, and we will have a look at one of these assignments. You can see in some cases there's a little pencil symbol in the grade column, and in others there's a mark. So the ones where there's a mark have been marked, obviously. The pencil ones have not been marked. They were actually marked offline last semester. So I'm going to select one of these, and let's just go with this one. So clicking on the grade column brings up the actual assignment, and you can see this particular student had a similarity score of 22%, and assignment's reasonably well presented and structured. You can see my comments here and there through the assignment, and I'll explain how that's all done very quickly now. So firstly, let's have a look at the similarity score. You can see it's 22. So this is showing where that similarity occurs, the sources of that similarity, and you can see it comes from a number of different places, and from my perspective this is not a major problem. It's 22%. Some of the similarities are actually from apparently the student using another student's template, and you can see the name of that student and also where that similarity occurs, where the color match is. So this is pinky reddy color is where those matches are. You can see here the second one where the similarities are again. If there was more similarity, we might want to exclude some of these papers. So for example, we might choose to exclude the one that was local, and because much of it is the template, there's a few little definitional pieces maybe, but mostly it's the template. So we just go to the next tab, and the next tab allows us to exclude sources. We select the item that we wish to exclude, and then we just click exclude, and it will recalculate the similarity score. You can see that it's dropped. Now if we wanted to return those sources back, we go to the bottom one here and basically click on those ones that we want to return, and then click restore. The next step would be to undertake marking of this assignment. So the first thing we could have a look at is that so I'm just going to get rid of this layer now. I'm going to switch that off, so I'm not looking at similarity anymore. There's no reference to that, no color coding, nothing like that anymore, and you could switch that layer on or off as you choose, just to see where those similarities are if you need to. Otherwise, what I'm doing is I'm actually working through, and I'm looking at the assignment, and if I wish to make comment, I can use a function called quick marks, which is the first option that's available here. And quick marks brings up some pre-developed comments. So for example, awkward, which means that the construction of the sentence is awkward or hard to read, and we could choose to place that on the assignment if we wish to. So you can see some of my comments through this assignment. So just imagine I wanted to make a comment about this first section of the assignment. I could click on, if I click or even drag across that section, it brings up a little set of options for me to put in, comments to put. So I can choose a quick mark, which is what we had earlier. Say for example, I wanted to tell the student that this is a bit awkward the way this is expressed. I could simply select that and it immediately puts that statement in. I could add some further comment to this if I choose. If I'm not happy with that, I could delete it. Or I could, if I want to just put a text box with some comment, I can also do that. So I've got options for communicating some response to the student on their work here. So I'll just delete that now. The second option here is to be able to write or to record a verbal comment. So let me just show you how the verbal comment works, the recording. It's as simple as just pressing the circle, and you will see that you can actually record a comment as long as 3 minutes. So here I am, I'm just recording a comment, and I'll just stop that now. And so here I am, I'm just recording a comment, and so you can see there that the recording has been picked up very well. The next option is to type a text comment, which is really just to enter some overview of your assessment of this assignment. And in this case, I've commented that this is a pretty good assignment. There's still a bit of work that could have been done, but quite well done in general. So you can sort of see, quite easy to do that. The final option that's available here is a rubric. Now, this assignment was marked using a rubric. It was on a 0 to 10 scale, and then it was weighted. So let me show you what the rubric looks like. This is it here. So down the left side, of course, you've got all of the elements that we're assessing, the criteria, and then running across the top we have the different levels, and you can put as many levels in as you choose. Obviously you need one for each of the major areas of pass, credit, distinction, and so on, but you can actually have, if you wanted to have, say, 2 levels for pass. You can see I had 2 levels for fail here, a marginal fail and a fail, and you can assign the level of the marks as well. And then once this is done for the particular assignment, this is able to be applied to any piece of work that's been submitted. So it makes it quite quick to be able to mark assignments. So for example, say I think this is worth, say, 5. I can apply that, and you can see it's calculating the mark here. It's out of 9 because the top end of the scale is actually 9, even though it's a 10-point scale. I've taken the midpoint for the HD, which is 9. What it then does is it calculates a proportion and assigns it against the overall mark. So you can see that it's applied that and it's given 14. But if I'm not happy with that, I can modify it myself again, and and it will recalculate it. If you want to, you can actually go in and change this as well. Say if I thought this is actually not worth 14, it might be worth 13 instead. I can easily change it, make it 13. So that would override the application of the grade that's there. But you can always go back and you can reapply. So in this case I was actually happy with the calculation that was assigned here. And that's basically all there is to it. To actually set up the rubrics is a more complicated process, and we will work with you to set those up if that's required. Otherwise, the rubrics will be sitting there ready to go. So I hope that's helped to give you a quick overview of how to use this Turnitin system. If you have any questions, of course, contact myself, James Carino, or contact Lenore in the library, and we'll be very happy to help you out. Bye for now.